Welcome to the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Glen Ritter. I'm here to talk to you tonight about a lot of Minnesota sports. I'm going to talk about some of the college sports, the Minnesota Gophers spring sports, and we really want to talk a little bit about them. Not a ton to talk about, but I really want to give you a bit of an update as to how they're doing. I'm going to touch on the Minnesota United. Just to give you an update as to where they're at in the standings and kind of some of their key players. As you can guess, right now it's playoff season for the Wolves and for the Wild. So I'm going to touch on both of those playoff series and the big thing, tomorrow night's draft. I'm going to definitely be talking about that, and I do have a little bit to talk about with the Twins too. They are amazingly not in last place, but that's what happens when you're playing the Chicago White Sox as much as they have this season. Anyway, good to chat a little bit about all of those things, but really let's I'll just kind of point out my little Gopher baseball shirt here and just kind of chat with you a little bit about that. So right now the women's golf team is doing pretty well. I'll just throw that up here real quick as my intro's playing. So the Gophers, the women's golf team, the 38-14. Isabella McCauley just finished tied for the lead in the most recent in the Big Ten tournament that just finished up last weekend. She is also receives an invitation to the national tournament in Baltimore, Maryland, I believe. Yeah, Baltimore, Maryland. They'll be coming up this weekend. So really exciting for Isabella. So hopefully she can do well there. The men's golf team just finished up the Big Ten championship this past weekend. I believe they finished seventh with a score of plus 50 over 54 holes. They're not necessarily doing quite as well. I think the top finisher for the team finished in 19th place. Thinking about the baseball and softball teams, baseball team is 20-18, softball team is 15-28. So not doing a great job there yet. The men's baseball team though is managed by Ty McDevitt, who was the pitching coach last year up until the point that John Anderson retired. So they haven't done a ton, haven't really had a great season this year. But one thing that is real that they have had some good situations with, I guess, has been they just had an 8-game winning streak. They're 8-2 in the last 10. So they just lost their last game. They've got another series coming up this weekend. Number 12 in the Big Ten, with all of those teams in the Big Ten, it's a little bit of a challenge to be too far up in the top of the standings, but they are 7-11 in the Big Ten right now, so that 8-game winning streak did help them out. And then women's softball again, not having a great start to their season either, but we'll see if they can pick things up a little bit. But they're sitting at 15-28, 4-15 in the Big Ten, and sitting in 15th place. So I think there's 17 teams in the women's softball teams in the Big Ten. So a little bit different than the basketball teams and things like that. So anyway. So that's kind of it for the Gophers. I do also, before I kind of get to our first break, I'd like to just touch on a little bit, and that's just the Minnesota United. We've got a new soccer show here on the IE Sports Radio Network, and we were just kind of chatting I was chatting with Jess a little bit about the United. She was on my last show asking me about the United, and I told her I was going to check, get into them in the standings. Right now, they're in the second place. They're tied with Austin with 16 points. They are, let me look at my notes, they are 4-1-4 after 9 games. So they've won 4, lost 1, and had 4 draws. They're, like I said, they're tied with Austin, who has one more win. So they're 5, 3, and 1. So they have the same number of points because you get 3 points for a win, and then 1 point for a draw. But Austin has a -1 goal differential. So they've actually given up one more goal than they've scored this season, even though they've won 5 games. The goal differential for the United is a +4. So, looking forward to seeing that, and actually really excited for this weekend because, like I said, they're in second place behind Vancouver, which is in first place in the Western Conference. So they're going to be facing them on Sunday at Allianz Field in St. Paul. So I'm looking forward to seeing that game. Hopefully, I think it's going to be televised, so I've got to check that out. But anyway, just wanted to give you kind of those quick little synopsis of some of the local sports. But before I go any further, you need to hear from all of our sponsors. So I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to have you check out our sponsors. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio with your host, Glen Ritter.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right. Welcome back to the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thanks again for tuning in. As you know, this is not my normal night to be doing my show, but I'm going to be traveling tomorrow to a conference in Columbus, Ohio. So work conference, and so I'm not going to be able to do my show on my normal night, but thankfully I was able to come on tonight and talk about all things going on here in the state of Minnesota when it comes to sports. Excuse me. So before I get into my stuff, again, just remember, check out all of our sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Again, I say this every week. The stuff is phenomenal. Check it out. Go to their store. Go online, buy some. It's just a wonderful, wonderful product. There's no fillers, no anything, nothing but just premium brisket beef jerky. So, like I said, I always keep a couple of packs either hidden at home or in my office desk at work. Just to give me that little bit of a snack. But also check out all of our other sponsors, Vital Apparel. So again, if you need to get any workout gear, great place to go. They've got great, comfortable workout gear, and a portion of the proceeds go to support mental health. So that's a wonderful cause. I definitely encourage you to do that. And if you use the code IESR, you get 15% off of your order for some great, comfortable gym wear. Fantastic stuff. And then there's also Seal the Deal wax seals from Cecilia B. Check out her site, Seal the Deal _wax stamps on Instagram or under iesportsradio.com / Seal the Deal wax seals. Again, if you've got a invitation or a thank you note that you're sending out after a wedding, anniversary party, birthday party, anything like that you want to send out special invitations to, it can just turn things up a notch when you do something like that. And then also, again, make sure you follow us on Instagram, X. So you can see my Twitter or X handle right there for the show is at Bold North _IESR. That's the business one, or you can go to my personal X account, and that's Gritter13. We can chat about all things sports related. Any questions you might have. Always trying to give my input and my opinion on things, whether it's the Wolves, the Wild, Twins, Vikings, college teams, the Gophers, Minnesota State Mankato. As I've told you, my son goes to school there at St. Paul Saints. I'm actually thinking I'm going to incorporate a segment on my show starting next week of just about the St. Paul Saints, since my son has a media pass to go take photos at St. Paul Saints games. I think I might have him on a weekly basis just to do a Saints spotlight where he can take some photos of a specific player, somebody we want to talk about, and kind of try to reach out to him because I know he does have some of the Saints players that follow him on Instagram, including Marco Rea, who's one of the top Twins pitching prospects. And I think there's a couple others too that follow him. So anyway, but if you're in the if you're watching online, jump in the comments or send any questions that you might have. But before you do that, let me get into the comments here. So first of all, we got Taryn Rodriguez saying, "Good evening, Glenn. Have a great show." Thanks, Taryn. Appreciate you tuning in. Taryn is the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. So he handles everything Southern California. So we've been kind of bantering back and forth a little bit, a little brotherly poking at each other a little bit with the Lakers and the Wolves series. So anyway, so welcome, Taryn. Thanks for tuning in. We've also got Big Mike from the Indy Sports Nation show. So he covers everything around the Indiana or Indianapolis area, and does a great show Friday nights, I believe. I mentioned I checked out his show this past week because I was off on Friday. I did not have to work, and so I was able to check out his show and check in with us. So thanks, Mike, for tuning in. And yeah, we'll have a great show. Thank you very much. Anyway, so again, follow us on YouTube, especially. If you go to YouTube, like and subscribe to our channel, just IE Sports Radio, and we'll jump in. We're looking for people to like and subscribe. You can see all of my past shows there. This is show number 16 for me, so I'm fairly new to it compared to some of these guys that have been around for years. But anyway, love doing it, and hopefully you guys can all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can keep this going even more in the future. So again, otherwise follow me on here on X, and you can I always post about that YouTube channel as well on a regular basis. So if you miss it, you can't having trouble finding it, go to my my X page, and you'll find the link there to the YouTube page. So anyway, but let's get into our first topic of discussion. As you notice, I did a little wardrobe change, so I got my Wild jersey on, so I'll be doing another little change here as we go here throughout the show. But anyway, so Minnesota Wild taking on the Vegas Golden Knights right now. They just finished up their second game last night. I am in a little bit of a brain fog because I was up late watching both the Timberwolves play the Lakers and the Wild facing the Vegas Golden Knights. Whoever decided to schedule the puck drop for that hockey game at 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock East Coast time, needs to have their head examined, because that I did not stay up to watch the entire game. I did watch the whole Timberwolves game, and that even had a little bit of a late start time. That started at 9 o'clock my time, so I think it finished about 11 or so. And then I ended up watching the end of the second period of the Wild game against the Golden Knights. But the series is tied at 1-1 now after two games. The Wild lost the first game 4-2 on Sunday. It was Sunday night. And but it was really pretty close. It was one of those things where it could have gone either way. The Wild made some mistakes, and Vegas capitalized on them. They got a few goals. There was a penalty called, and in the, I think it's probably second period, and 5 seconds later, the puck was in the back of the net. So it was not the the penalty kill for the Wild has been in shambles, I guess, or been in disarray this whole season. They haven't been very good on the penalty kill. But I was listening to Lou Nanny talk on the a local radio show, a sports talk radio show on as I was driving home from work one day this week. I think it was Monday. Oh, it could have been Tuesday. It could have been yesterday as well. Can't remember which one it was, but anyway, it was probably yesterday. I think he was previewing the Tuesday night game. Anyway, the one thing that he noted and I missed as I was watching the game was on the power play goal that Vegas scored. Because it was 5 seconds into the power play that they scored. Right after the puck was dropped, the Vegas Golden Knights won the draw, and Hurdle immediately hit Freddie Gaudreau, who is the kind of one of the top penalty killers for the Wild. I mean, it was like just a blatant hit. Should have been interference called, but it wasn't called. But what ended up happening was because Gaudreau wasn't in his spot, Foligno decided to help out in front of the net, even though he should have stayed kind of in the line of the defenseman that was kind of to the left of the goalie. Philip Gustafson didn't see the pass to the defenseman. He just one-times it right past the goal. He had wide open net to shoot at, and that was it. That was the game. And really, it ended up being the deciding factor because going into late in the third period, it was a 3-2 game. So otherwise, it would have been tied if that penalty had been called like it probably should have been. But again, it wasn't called. Can't make excuses for it. They gave up the goal. They did bounce back. Boldy scored 2 goals. I think Kaprizov assisted on both of them. I know he did on the first one, which was just a beautiful pass that set up Boldy to beat Aiden Hill. It was an awesome shot, an awesome pass. And then the fourth goal was a empty netter that went through went into the goal with like a tenth of a second left on the clock in the third period. So it wasn't there wasn't much that that didn't really factor into the decision anyway. But it just made the score seem a little bit not as close as what it actually was. So they made it 4-2. So yeah. Anyway, so that's let me see here. Go back to my notes. So right now, I think one thing that was one change that John Hines made for this game was he did adjust the lines a bit. Because a couple of things that did take place. Number one, they started Zeev Buyum, who is a 19-year-old rookie in his first game on Saturday on Sunday. His first game was on Sunday. The first game on Sunday is 19-year-old rookie, just got done playing for Denver in the Frozen Four, and gets thrown into the starting lineup. He was on the third defensive pairing with Zach Bogosian. Had some rookie mistakes. He was a little did some things that you can do in college, but you can't do in the NHL. And so there was a couple little hiccups in his play, but nothing too major. But anyway, after the first game, they made some decisions to kind of switch up the lines a bit. Kept the top line the same because the top line is playing really, really well. So that's your Kaprizov, Boldy as the wingers, and then Joel Eriksson as the center. Those three playing together it's a thing of beauty watching them play. The way that they've been playing together has been phenomenal. So they've kept that line together. Then the other three lines, they did some things that to switch some things around. So I think Marco Rossi had been on the second line. He got bumped down to the fourth. Freddie Gaudreau, who was on the third, got moved up to actually, I think he was on the fourth, but he moved up to the second, and then Ryan Hartman stayed on the third line. Ryan Hartman had a really good first game as well against Vegas, even though he did get cross-checked in the face. He didn't retaliate, which is cool to see. And he really did play really well last night in the parts that I watched. Like I said, when I was flipping back and forth between the Wolves and the Wild game. Boldy has 3 goals in 2 games, which is fantastic. Kaprizov has 5 points, so 2 goals and 3 assists. He added an empty netter last night from 200 feet away from the other goal line to clear the puck, and he cleared it all the way down into the goal on the other end at the end of the game. Well, it was probably 2.5 minutes left in the game, I think is what I saw in the replay. Anyway, the Wild are playing pretty well. I know when we talked on the neutral zone a couple of weeks ago, I said that I thought that Vegas would win the series, and I still think that they will. But I did say that Minnesota has a chance to be a thorn in their side. One thing that the Wild had going for them last night is Adin Hill did give up some pretty weak goals. There was a couple where the puck just trickled through them, kind of soft goals, which I don't think we can always rely on. So if he turns it around on, let me see, tomorrow night, they're playing again tomorrow night. If he turns it up a little bit and played as stoutly as he did in game 1, the Wild are going to have some difficulties there. But if he's, has some more of those, if he's going to continue to, let in those soft goals, it's going to keep the Wild in the series. The Wild could potentially even take the series then if that ends up happening, because stranger things have happened in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at with the Wild, and I just did see another comment come in here from Brian Fraccioni, who is the host of the Beantown Sports Pound. So he covers all things Boston. He was just in that arena in Vegas watching WrestleMania. So he has shared some of his thoughts with on his show, but also on I think he's going to be on the wrestling show. Let me see, what's the name of that show? Oh, just the IE wrestling show with SoCal Saint and TS. So I think he's going to be joining them this week when they're on. I think tomorrow afternoon. So check them out. So Brian, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And so let's take a quick break here. Listen to some of our some words about some of our other shows, and we'll be back here in just a couple of minutes. You're watching the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernick, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
talking about on the head.
Hey, yo, what's good, Georgia? It's your boy ACS, and if you love sports from the Peach State as much as I do, then Georgia Sports Central is your one-stop destination for down south sports, courtesy of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you a yellow jacket at heart, or do you bleed the red and black of the Bulldogs? Do you keep it true to Atlanta with Trae Young, Capella, and the boys? Do you rise up with the Dirty Birds on Sundays? Are you excited to see what the future holds for Michael Penix Jr., Bijan, and the rest of the Falcon squad? Do you live at 755 Battery Avenue? Do you rep for Albies, Acuna, and the rest of Braves country? If so, then let's get united every Wednesday for some Braves, Hawks, UGA, Georgia Tech, Atlanta Dream, Falcons, and more on Georgia Sports Central, only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right. Welcome back to the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As you can see, I made another costume change. Got to keep changing things up. So I got my Wolves jersey on. I'm going to talk some Wolves now. The Wolves this season have been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. Easy for me to say, right? Jekyll and Hyde kind of a team this season. They've shown that they can beat anybody and smoke any team in the league. But they've also shown that they can lose to just about anybody. So I was, after the first game of the series against the Lakers on Saturday night, I was pretty pumped because they won 117-95. Now, I wasn't surprised by that because I do think that the Wolves have a really good, solid, deep team that when they're clicking can beat anybody in the league. So that's what happened on Saturday. They were playing physical defense. They weren't scared of Luka. They weren't scared of LeBron. They just they kind of fell behind a little bit to start the game. They seemed a little overwhelmed, a little flustered. They were throwing the ball away and made some really bad passes. In the first quarter, the Lakers, really had their way with the Wolves. Towards the end of the first quarter, they did start. The Wolves started to click a little bit more, started playing a little bit better defense, taking care of the ball, and from that point on, things were clicking. They ended up hitting 21 of 42 threes, which was crazy, but every one of them were either considered, according to whatever analysis that there is out there, were either open or wide open shots. And once they started feeling good, the ball started going through the net. Everybody was hitting their shots. Jaden McDaniels went off for 25 points and 9 rebounds. He was like, I think 11 of 13 shooting, or 13 to 15 shooting. He only missed a couple of shots, which was crazy. He's somebody that is definitely known for his defense. He can play defense and rebound. He's not afraid to get in anybody's face when it comes to playing defense. Like, he's all over. He usually draws Luka as the defensive assignment. And Luka is an amazing offensive player. He is just, it's just crazy how good he is. And he can break down any defensive player. So even whether it's Jaden McDaniels or Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, everybody, okay, Rudy Gobert is in a mismatch against Luka. We all know that, especially out on the perimeter. He needs to be. But, the Lakers put him in that spot where they made sure that the Wolves would have to switch out to get Luka, Rudy guarding Luka, which in the first game didn't hurt a ton. Luka did have 37 points. He was not an issue for the or a reason that the Lakers lost. I guess the one thing that that was a little bit of a deficit in his box score was he only had one assist. And when Luka is playing well and the Lakers are playing well, he's got a heck of a lot more than just one assist. But the other guys weren't hitting shots. So I get that the shots aren't always falling. So that was a big part of the reason why it was a 22-point victory in that first game on Saturday night. Then last night, game 2, the Lakers came out and smacked the Timberwolves in the mouth. That's the only way to describe it. The mistakes that the Wolves made in game 1 were just as bad in game 2, except the Lakers didn't let up on them. They were just right there in their face. As a Wolves fan, I was having a hard time with maintaining my composure when guys like Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt would really be getting into the personal space of a lot of the players. They weren't afraid to mix it up and really get handsy with whether it was Jaden McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo. I know that was one where, the one play, Dante DiVincenzo was trying to drive towards the hoop. Jared Vanderbilt reached across him with his left hand as he was coming towards him, and Dante hit him with his forearm in the neck. Initially, it was a foul called on Vanderbilt. It was challenged and was overturned into an offensive foul. So it was a turnover by DiVincenzo. But DiVincenzo, they got under his skin. They got under Naz Reid's skin. Everybody seemed to get frustrated and wanted to get a little bit more. I think they wanted to fight. I mean, that's the way it seemed, right? They just wanted to really go after those two guys in particular. I think they were getting a little frustrated with Luka with the way that he feels like he's fouled every single time that somebody plays defense on him. I think he likes to whine when he gets a foul called on him. I was kind of surprised that neither him nor LeBron were called for technicals yesterday with the amount of because I do have to say that I don't think that game was very well officiated at all. I thought there were some things in the first quarter where it seemed like, wow, they're calling everything. And then in the second half, it's like they were calling nothing. And there were fouls that I know were committed by Wolves players that just weren't called. And Luka and LeBron were very upset about those. And rightly so. Those should have been foul calls. But after a while, I know that Anthony Edwards has learned. After a while, you just got to get your mouth shut and just let it go. So to see them going on as long as they did, I thought was a little disappointing to see that the referees didn't, say, okay, you've said your piece. Enough is enough. You need to let it go because otherwise, and give them a technical or something. But anyway, so after 2 games, it's tied at one game apiece. They're going to be back here in Minneapolis on Friday night. Looking forward to watching that game on TV. I know that the Twins actually changed the start time of their game because they're going to be playing in downtown Minneapolis about the same time. Actually, they were supposed to be starting about the same time. Right now, the Twins I think are going to start about 6:40, and I think the Wolves game tips off at like 8:30. So it could be a couple of hour difference. So hopefully, the people showing up for the Twins game will get there earlier and leave by the time that the that the Lakers Wolves game is tipping off, because if you don't know the area, those two facilities are right next to each other. They actually share a parking ramp. So Friday night it's going to be crazy, and then same thing on Sunday. I think the Wolves game is scheduled to tip off around 3:00 Central Time. But now and same with I think the Twins were going to have a 3:00 game as well. But they've moved their start time to 12:15. So hopefully, again, there will be a little bit less carryover as far as fans go, less traffic, because it's going to be a sellout at Target Center. It's not going to be a sellout at Target Field, which is where the Twins play. The attendance there has been crazy. I know that there were some pictures I saw on Facebook of the last night. The stadium at opening pitch was like non-existent for that Twins game. And actually, I do have let me just touch on a little bit more with the Twins, just because they are, they are on my docket to talk about here before we take our next break. So Twins really haven't had a lot of reason to be excited about their team. They're 8-15 right now. They played the White Sox last night, got a 4-2 victory. It's kind of funny that if you've seen any of the replays from that game, Byron Buxton made this diving catch out on the warning track in right center field to end the game. And it was really crazy play, because he had to cover a ton of ground in a short amount of time to catch that ball. It was kind of going into the gap, and off the bat, a lot of people didn't think it was going to be caught. The funny thing that he mentioned was that after the game, there was a quote from Byron Buxton saying, it was, I could hear how hard he hit it, because there wasn't a lot of people in the stadium. So you could really hear the crack of the bat, and knew that he hit it well. So he knew that he had to really get on his horse and track it down, which he did. But I just thought that was kind of interesting that we're into the season, and last night was a beautiful night weather-wise, like tonight. I mean, it's probably 70 degrees right now outside. Beautiful sun shining. Beautiful night to watch outdoor baseball. And I think that the number of people that were at the Twins game could have been less than what was at the number of people that were at the St. Paul Saints game, who also had a home game last night. I think they won 16-4, if I remember correctly. But there is some excitement that is coming on with the Twins. Luke Keeschel, who is one of the best hitting prospects that the Twins have. He's a second baseman, first baseman, outfielder. Doesn't really have a true position. He's 22 years old. He's the number 57 prospect in the majors right now, coming into this season. He's coming off Tommy John surgery, so he's been really playing the DH role since he got called up. But he's batting .357. He has an OPS of 971. He's kind of put himself right into the middle of the lineup, because a lot of guys are dealing with injuries. We still have Pablo Lopez, who's out, although I think he's going to be coming back pretty soon to get back into the starting rotation. But otherwise, Royce Lewis, he's still doing some rehab stuff, and then Matt Wallner, all on the injured list for the Twins. So it's going to be. It's one of those things where, as a Twins fan, as growing up as a Twins fan, I loved watching the baseball team. I loved watching them play. I loved watching Kirby Puckett, Kent Herbeck, Gary Gaetti, Tom Bernansky, Frank Viola, Dan Gladden, Tim Laudner. I could go down the list. Roy Smalley. I mean, the number of guys from the early 80s that I watched growing up. So yeah, spoiler alert, I'm in my 50s. I loved watching the Twins as a kid, but the last 2 years has been it's been so disappointing from the ownership perspective. Like, the owners don't want to invest in the team. They don't want to invest in players. They want to sell the team. They want to get paid more money than what the team is actually worth. They're wanting to get an offer of $1.7 billion, with a B, $billion, when kind of, I think all of the like Forbes and places like that have valued the team at $1.5 billion. So they want to get another $200 million just because, which seems rather odd. Anyway, so I'm frustrated with the ownership, but some of these young guys I'm kind of intrigued by. Brooks Lee has been up. Now he was hurt for a bit now, but now he's back. He was another top prospect. He's been playing third base since Royce Lewis has been out. So they've got some good guys that are some good young hitters that I'm looking forward to seeing. And they've got some, to be honest, they've got some pretty good pitchers as well. I mean, David Festa has pitched pretty well since he's been called up when Pablo Lopez got hurt. Unfortunately, some of the other guys haven't been quite as effective. They had some rough starts to the season. Bailey Ober had, I think before last night's game, had an ERA of almost 7. Chris Paddock has not pitched very well at all as a starter. I think his ERA was hovering close to 10. I think Joe Ryan has also struggled coming off the injury that he suffered last year. He was missed the second half of the season. So when you've got guys like David Festa, he was sent out to AAA playing with the Saints, started their opening day and was just dominant. Since he's been called up, he's been pitched really pretty well. Then you've got guys like Zebby Matthews, who last year went from single A all the way through the minors up to the major league level in late August. He didn't have a lot of success at the major league level in late August, but he's shown that he's a very good pitcher. And the thing that was always crazy about him is like he had like pinpoint control, and he does. He has pinpoint control, but he added, I think I heard like another 2 to 3 miles per hour on his fastball. So he's throwing it harder, but he's maintaining that control too. So there's some guys that are exciting to watch. Yeah, I always love to see young guys develop and become major league players. I just want an ownership group that will really spend some money and invest in players to put around these young guys to help show them the way and help build them into a championship team. Because right now, the way that they operate is more like a minor league operation. They just don't want to invest in the team. And it's disappointing as a Minnesota fan. So anyway, let's take another quick break here. We'll come back. You're watching the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Cleveland and Columbus sports fans, I've got the show for you. I'm Jen B., host of the Show of the Land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You want football? I've got the Browns, the Buckeyes, the Eagles, the Purple Raiders, and more for you. You want basketball? I've got the Cavs and the Charge for you. You want hockey? I've got the Blue Jackets and the Monsters for you. You want football, aka soccer? I've got the Crew and the Crunch for you. You want volleyball? I'm going to unleash the fury for you. You want more Cleveland and Columbus sports? I've got them all for you, from the majors to the minors to the college rinks. Catch me, Jen B, every week on the Show of the Land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
What's up, Wisconsin sports fans? I'm Dan, diehard Baholic, host of the Wisconsin Whistle. Check us out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We're talking Green Bay Packers, Milwaukee Brewers, Milwaukee Bucks, Marquette basketball, Wisconsin football and basketball, and all Wisconsin sports. Don't miss us each week, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, and welcome back to the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors, and check out all of those other shows that you've heard about tonight. The Citation Weekly with Adam Karnick. He does a great job with his host with that show. He's also host on the Neutral Zone and was on the 3 and Out podcast over the weekend where they did a mock draft. So I was watching that and have some thoughts on that. But definitely check out his show, ACS with the Georgia Sports Channel. Again, I think he was on just before me, so maybe you were on and we're able to check him out. But otherwise, next Wednesday, check him out. I think he's on, so it'd be like 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Anyway, then let's see who else. The Show of the Land, Jen. Definitely check out her show. I joked that I'm going to be in Columbus tomorrow, so I don't know if we're gonna try to have a little meetup or anything like that. No. Just kidding, Jen. I don't think that I'll have time in my with my conference. I'll be there with some other people too. So anyway, but definitely looking forward to checking out Columbus, and then also just the Wisconsin Whistle, Dan, with everything Wisconsin related. I know that he's got to be pretty excited with the draft being in Green Bay tomorrow. I'm sure he's going to be partying it up there too, and at least I'm assuming that's what he's going to be doing. I mean, I think that's what kind of all of the Packer fans like to do. They like to partake in some adult beverages from time to time. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but at least that's everything I've learned. My wife grew up in Wisconsin, so she knows her family are all Packer fans. So everybody that I met from that group are all, we like to rib each other a bit, talking about Vikings and the Packers and things like that. But anyway, so just real quick, want to spend a couple of minutes talking a little bit about what I anticipate happening during the NFL draft tomorrow, because as you may know, the Wolves only have 4 picks in the draft. 4, that's it. They traded away a bunch through various trades last year, used some of this year's draft capital to move up to select Dallas Turner, outside linebacker, edge rusher out of Alabama, who was dropping a little bit in the first round. So they moved up from I think 23 to 17 to select him, and so they traded a couple of picks away to get him. But that means they have the 24th pick. And then they have the number 97 overall pick, which is a compensatory pick at the end of the 3rd round. They have a 5th round pick, number 139, and a 6th round pick, which is 187, I believe. So they don't have a whole lot of draft capital. I think the common idea at pick number 24 is that's probably going to be a prime target for teams that want to trade up in the draft. Whether it's a team that's picking towards the end of the first round, a team like Kansas City, Philadelphia, or Buffalo, moving ahead of some teams like the Rams or the Texans. I know the Texans are probably going to be looking for a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. I think those are kind of their big needs. And when we did that mock draft over the weekend, I had in my mock draft, I had Houston taking Kelvin Banks, left tackle / guard, offensive lineman out of Texas. So if there's a team that wants an offensive tackle, like Kansas City Chiefs would probably want if they could get a better offensive tackle at number 24 versus what they can get at number 31, they might want to move up and give the Vikings some more draft capital, because in my mind, an ideal draft for the Vikings would be to come away with another backup interior defensive lineman, guard, corner, safety, and then eventually a running back. You need 5 picks for that to make all of that happen. And with this draft, there is some depth that I think that some of these positions can it can happen, because I guess the one thing that I've seen about the Vikings this year in this offseason is they filled all of their holes for the most part, right? They've signed a center and a guard. They got rid of Bradbury at center, so they've got Will Fries and Ryan Kelly as their center and right guard. They still have Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw as their bookend tackles. Right now, they're going to be running back with Blake Brandel as their left guard, unless something happens where they're able to sign somebody back or sign somebody in free agency. I think the free agency that the players that they've signed in free agency is all they're going to sign for the time being. I think they're waiting until April 28th at 3:00 when teams can sign free agents and not have it count towards their draft pick, the compensatory draft pick formula. I think at 3:00 Central Time is when that deadline is. So I do envision them potentially signing some players after that point. But it'll depend on who they end up within the draft. So they could, you can never have too many corners, right? So that's the reason I have that on the list. The defensive tackles that they signed in the offseason, Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen, are both in their early 30s. Same thing with Harrison Phillips. I think having a young defensive tackle that can come in and learn from those guys and be able to develop into a Pro Bowl type defensive tackle. The person who I actually had selected in my mock draft was Kenneth Grant, a large defensive tackle from Michigan. He gives the team something that they haven't really had since Linval Joseph was on the team. And that's a big, wide-bodied nose tackle that just demands a double team on every single play. He can collapse the pocket from up the middle. But even all the guys that they brought in are true defensive tackles. I think that can penetrate and disrupt plays, but aren't necessarily those guys that where you have to scheme to block them with the center and a guard on every single play. And that's what Kenneth Grant seems to be for me. I mean, he moves really well for a big man. So he would be somebody that would not be like anybody else. But there are some others that if they decide to go in a different direction, because I do think Kenneth Grant would probably be there. He was available in my mock draft. I've seen other mock drafts where he's gone before the Vikings pick. But other guys would be like Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss and Derek Harmon out of Oregon as defensive tackles that can, again, collapse the pocket. And these are guys that would be available kind of in the first round. But if they trade down into, I've seen some mock drafts where they trade down, to the Chiefs or with Philadelphia or somebody like that, and then sometimes even trade down again. Because I think that there's also going to be some teams that want to get back into the end of the first round to select a quarterback, whether that's somebody like if Jackson Dart is still available, or Jalen Milroe, or Tyler Shuck. I think he's been a pretty popular player from some of the football talking heads. Like they haven't, or they've been talking that he's a good prospect. I know people kind of make fun of the fact that I think he's like a seventh-year college player, so he might be like 25 years old now. But at quarterback, does that really matter? I mean, it's not like he's only going to be able to play until he's in his mid-30s. As a quarterback, usually they can play into their late 30s, 40s, Aaron Rodgers. So anyway, I could see them. It sounds like there's going to be some teams trying to target him in the early second. So again, he could trade down. Other players that I think would be worth checking out are going to be any corners, because you can never have too many corners. So if Will Johnson is potentially available, I think he's been sliding down boards a little bit just because he. I don't think he's actually run a 40 yet this offseason because he dealt with some injuries last year during the season. But whether he runs a 40 or runs even a good 40 doesn't matter. He's a really good football player. So I think Will Johnson would be somebody that would be great. Although, again, I don't see him being available at number 24. Jahdae Barron, a 5'10", 5'11"-ish corner out of Texas. Could play some nickel corner, could be safety, could play on the outside as well. I think if Brian Flores likes him, he'd be a great target there. If they trade down a bit, Maxwell Hairston, one of the fastest corners and people at the combine. I think he ran a 4.29 ish 40 at 6'1", 6'2", something like that. Would be a great addition. Safeties. The Vikings have three really good safeties right now. They've got Harrison Smith, Theo Jackson, and Josh Metellus. Theo Jackson just got a contract extension, 2 years, like $13 million. Not a huge number, but he's a really good. He's a good safety that can be used in a lot of different ways. He'll be used on special teams a little bit. Since Cam Bynum left to Indianapolis, I do see him potentially being the other starting safety, with Josh Metellus being that Swiss Army knife for Brian Flores. But even with those three guys, I think that they need to think about drafting the heir apparent to Harrison Smith. He's likely going to be retiring after the season. And so if they want to look at safeties, there's guys like Nick Emanowari and Malachi Starks. Those are two of the only two first round safeties that I can see. But again, if they trade down, you've got other guys, Xavier Watts, Kevin Winston, Andrew Makuba. Who's my other guy here? Oh, Ty Bowman Jr. out of Oklahoma. There's some good guys there at that position. Guard would be huge, right? As I mentioned, building through the trenches is going to be good. It's going to be a good idea. Especially, like I said, we added Ryan Kelly and Will Fries to the offensive line. Ryan Kelly's coming off a injury. He's been banged up a lot. I think that's what Big Mike told me from the Indiana Sports Show. I think that getting a guy that could step in, potentially at left guard, potentially at or fill in at center should Ryan Kelly get hurt again, would be beneficial. Because Blake Brandel, I think, to me, his best attribute and best spot to be in is as a swing offensive lineman, where he could back up every single offensive lineman. Not necessarily start, but just back up everybody, and that would be perfect. So if they're able to get somebody like Tyler Booker, if he happens to drop that far out of Alabama, would be great. He's a big mauling guard. Gray Zabel is intriguing to me because while he played left tackle at North Dakota State, he projects to be a guard or center at the next level. And it'd be great if he could start out at guard, and then if Brian Kelly gets hurt, he could move into center, and then Brandel can come back in at left guard. Well, but anyway, so it'd be another possibility. Kelvin Banks, what I like about him would be that he plays tackle, but he's going to be projected to kick into guard, and he could be a backup option should Christian Darrisaw have any delays in his rehab from his ACL surgery. So we'll see about that one too. Other guys that would be available as far as interior offensive linemen after trading down would be your guys like Tate Rutledge, Marcus Embo from Purdue, Jonah Savania out of Arizona. I think that's how his name's pronounced, and I apologize to him if he's listening and I butchered his name. But all of those guys are, have been playing tackle, but are projected to kick it. Well, actually, I know Tate Rutledge was a guard in college at Georgia. But anyway, there's some options there that would be typically available in that compensatory pick in the third round. And then when I listed also running backs, some of the guys that I'm thinking about if they trade down, because I don't think they're going to take one with their first pick. When I looked at the list of top 30 visits, one name that really stuck out to me is Brashard Smith out of SMU. He's kind of he's a running back that I think used to play wide receiver, so he could help in the return game. But he's projected to be a 4th or 5th round player. He's somebody that I could see the Vikings going for. So they also did bring in Siobhan Ravel, cornerback out of East Carolina, who's coming off ACL surgery. So I think that they're doing their homework with all of these players. So I'm really excited to see what happens tomorrow night, even though I'm not going to be at home to watch the draft like I normally do. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens, even if the Vikings trade down, because there is some benefit to that for the Vikings in this scenario, even though a lot of Vikings fans have gotten a little upset about Kwesi Adofo-Mensah when he traded down 2 years ago, or in his first draft, where he drafted Lewis Seen. He traded down from like number 12 all the way down to like 32. And that's where he drafted Seen. But, he could have drafted Kyle Hamilton. And we all know how well Kyle Hamilton has been playing at safety for the Baltimore Ravens. He could have had, I think Jahmyr Gibbs may have been. Well, no, I think that was the Jameson Williams draft. So I know he was taken in that. He was on the board at that time and was picked shortly after the Wild's original pick there. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see. So I'd love to see who they can end up with, even if they don't pick anybody tomorrow. It'll be great to see what they can do in in the second round. If they can get a second and another third round pick, so they've got 3 of the top 100, that would be fantastic. And I think that's kind of what I've seen. Rather than just 2 of the top 100, I think getting a third one would be great, because there's a lot of depth at a lot of positions. And the thing about, again, the way that the Vikings ran free agency is they can pick and go with best player available at pretty much any position. So anyway, that's my show for tonight. Thanks so much for joining. We really appreciate it. Make sure that you are checking out all of our channels, checking out our sponsors. Go to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Check out their stuff. Vital Apparel, again, great fitness gear. Check out our pages on YouTube, really. And come follow me on X. Let me throw that up on the screen so you can remember where you can find me. So either at Bold North _IESR or Ritter13. And check out my pages. I always like to throw some things that Minnesota sports things that catch my eye. I'll keep throwing those out there. I'll post some little snippets throughout the week too, just to talk about anything that kind of comes to mind. I want to throw out there too. I'll shoot some videos, just a minute and a half or whatever. Throw some of those out there. But again, go check out our YouTube page. So YouTube at IESR Radio. So check out all of that stuff. I'm going to be back here, back to my normal time next week. So it'll be Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for everybody that joined and threw in their comments. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the draft tomorrow, everyone, too, right? Hopefully your team gets the player that you're looking for, that you want, right? That's what we all want. We all think our players, the players that our team drafts, is going to be the next superstar. Not everybody can be, but let's hope that the Vikings hit some home runs with their picks. So again, thanks everybody. You've been watching the Bold North Breakdown here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. See you next Thursday, 7 o'clock Central, here on IE Sports Radio. Have a great week, everyone.